Okay, we got the dough here now. You notice that it's actually risen a little bit from the last time I was working with it. It's just popped right out again. So leaving it for an hour or so, it's still not done rising, and now it's all nice and fluffy to be used in this pizza recipe. I'll just remove the plastic here. You can see it's quite the lively animal here. And now this is the frozen dough from last month, so I'm going to use some of it to get rid of some of it. It'll make your pizza taste pretty good too, just by using the more plasticine-like dough, I call it, because it's been frozen already. I'm not going to take too much out. Just going to put a little bit of that in there. Just gives the crust a nice little flavor. Texture, not flavor, it's texture actually. Very wafery. So if you like your pizza to be like wafery and not doughy, I don't like my pizza dough doughy. So a little piece like that, I'll just set it aside. And now I'll grab some of this dough here. I do these all the time, so I kind of have a pretty good idea how much dough I need to make a pizza. I'll just throw that on here. I already floured up my pin, and I put a little bit of flour on the counter here so it doesn't stick. And then when we have the excess dough, we're going to put it back inside that bag and freeze it up for next time. Okay, so we're going to start making our pizza in here now. I just want to point out this canola oil spray. And this is the pizza pan that I use. You could pick these up for about 10 bucks. This was what makes your pizza really good. So make sure you grease your pan. Make sure you grease it good. It makes the pizza cook better. Plus later when you do dishes to clean up, it just cleans up with a snap. So that's a reason why you should spray down your pan. And here's the oven. You can see I have right from the bottom, there's the bottom one. Second from the bottom. I find if you raise it too high, it burns the cheese. So this is just my oven. So second from the bottom for the rack. Alright, so now that we've taken some of the frozen dough out, I put about 30% of the frozen dough into the pile, and then I took some of the dough that we just made today. And now we're just going to knead this up and roll ourselves a nice little pizza. And all you do is you put a little bit of flour on the table as I've done here, and that'll just take care of any unnecessary moisture that we don't need, because if it's too sticky, well, it's going to stick to the table. And right now you can see it's turning into something really nice. So about 30% of the frozen dough and 70% of the fresh dough. And for some reason the pizza just turns out great. I don't know why, but it works, and I never throw away any dough. I always use all the dough that I make. And now we'll get the rolling pin out and I'll roll her up. Okay, you can see now I'm having no problem rolling out this dough. Remember, it was very moist. It looked like it was just going to stick to everything. But you can see it's coming along really nicely here. It's not giving me any problem at all rolling it out. I always keep a little bit of extra flour on the side here, and then I scoop it up and put it in a plastic bag, so I never throw flour away. But there's nothing worse that you need more flour and you have to go back to the big bag again. I always make sure I have enough flour on my table. That's just a little tip. Make sure you always got enough flour on your table so that if you need it, it's right there. And you can always just push it aside and put it inside a bag and then use it again later. Yeah, so I got my pizza dough now. It's all been laid out quite nicely. You can see it's going to fit on my pizza pan, no problem. Now just a little trick, when you go to get it onto the pan, it's a little bit of an exercise. So what I do is I just put a little bit of flour on one side like this, and what that does is it prevents the dough from sticking, and then you can just flip it over. There you go. It flips over nicely. I just move the flour out of the way, and then I come in from the back. See, there you go. And you just kind of go halfways. Just Make sure you push the flour out of the way there a little bit so you're not going to have flour all over the place. And then it fits over like a beautiful curtain. And then just hang it right over. And by using the frozen dough with the fresh dough, it just makes it more easier to work with too. Like you can see, this stuff is pretty elastic and it's not ripping or anything. That's the other good thing about using the frozen dough too. It just makes everything work nicely. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pizza cutter. And then I just basically go around the edges. And cut off the excess dough, which will go back into that plastic bag. And this will be for the next pizza next time. So there we go. Round she goes. There's the excess dough. And now I can put it back into this bag, and as I said, you can refreeze it over and over again. It doesn't hurt it. And now you can see, if I put this together, I got myself another pizza ready to go, and you're not wasting anything. Okay, now I got the sauce that we made in the other video here. It's ready to go on now. So now we're going to put our sauce on. But before I do that, I have to get some secret ingredient. If I can just find where it is. Figures it's always hidden.
That's why it's secret.
That's why it's secret. Here it is here. Just go out and get yourself some pizza spice. You see that there? Could you zoom in on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just get some...
Turn the label. Keep turning it. Nope, the other way.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, just get some pizza spice, especially if you're going to have a pepperoni pizza. Pizza spice is a must. If you're going to have a ham or a pineapple pizza, don't put this on. It makes it taste worse. So, pepperoni pizza, pizza spice is a must. If you're going to go ham and pineapple pizza, don't use this stuff. But we're going to be doing pepperoni today. And the pepperoni that I picked today is Hammal. This is the stuff here. Very good pepperoni for pizza. I use it all the time. I recommend this type of pepperoni. And we're using Cracker Barrel mozzarella. And when it comes to the mozzarella for your pizza, don't get the cheap stuff. Always get a decent mozzarella. You put all this time into making your pizza, and your pizza is your dough, your sauce, and your cheese. That really makes your pizza. So make sure you get a good quality mozzarella that you like. Don't get the cheap stuff. Okay, now I'm going to sauce this baby up. And our oven is still preheating, so it's going to be a few more minutes, so we're actually doing really well for time. Okay, well you can see now we have our pizza covered with our nice lovely sauce. Now I'm going to put the pizza spice on top. Chris, you want to get a close-up of me sprinkling it so they know how much to put on? And I just sprinkle her on. And once again, this pizza spice, they're pretty much all the same, but they work the best for pepperoni on your pizza. So we're having pepperoni tonight, so this is a must. But you can see I'm being pretty liberal with this. There you go. So there's the spice. And now we're going to put some cheese on top. A well-balanced pizza makes a good pizza. And remember, if you like this recipe, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, everybody. So now we're going to put the pepperoni on, and I find the Hammal guys are pretty good. They give you lots of pepperoni, so you'll be able to cover your pizza no problem. Okay, we got some pepperoni from Hammal now on the pizza, fully loaded. Now I'm going to put on some mushrooms, because I love mushrooms. Some people don't like mushrooms. Of I love mushrooms, so we're going to put on some mushrooms. I find too with pizza you got to put a lot of mushroom on to taste it. Alright, now we got the mushrooms on. Now we're going to put on some green peppers. This is what I grew in my garden last summer and I froze them, so that's where frozen peppers come in handy. So now I'm going to put on some green pepper. And I just love green pepper. Sprinkle it across. Alright, now that we got our green peppers on our pizza here, we're going to put on some onions. And that'll be our last topping for tonight. So 4 toppings. And then we're going to throw the pizza in the oven for 26 minutes at 430 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so here's our finished product. We're now going to put it inside the oven now on the second rack from the bottom, as I showed you before. We'll put it in there, close her up, and we'll set the timer for 26 minutes. And wait till you see how she comes out. And the other thing before we go is, when the pizza's ready, it'll actually start to float on the metal tray there. So when you're cooking your pizza, when you start to see it float, that's when you know your pizza's ready. And all ovens are different, so it might be 26 minutes for you, or 25 minutes, or 27 minutes, give or take a minute or two. So you're going to have to experiment on your oven, but my oven works great at 26 minutes. So get ready, it will be coming out shortly, and then we'll see what she looks like. Alright, now we got our pizza, it's cooking here now. Now this is the frozen dough from before. Now I take today's dough, and I just grab it, put it inside the bag, and zip it up, and put it in for next time. And I usually kind of squish it around a little bit so it kind of mixes inside the bag, like that. And as I mentioned before, dough can be frozen and refrozen over and over again, and I haven't noticed any difference in taste at all, so works really well. Alright, so I'll put it back inside the freezer for next week's pizza. Okay, we're almost ready for pizza. We're got Deep Space Nine on here. Now we're just going to take a quick look. See my brother get stuck doing the dishes there. I do the cooking, he has to do the cleaning. So I'm just going to show the pizza in here now. We're going to pull it out here very shortly. You can kind of see the pizza just kind of starting to float on top of the rack. That's when it's done. So I have it in for 26 minutes. You can see there's still 2 minutes left on a timer. So this pizza is going to be ready around 24 minutes. So I'm going to pull it out now. There is our pizza. So that was about 24 minutes. I pulled it out a little bit early, but you can see the pizza starting to float. And once it starts to float, that's when you know it's cooked. So it's a ballpark figure. Some days it cooks at 26 minutes, some days it cooks at 24 minutes. And as you can see here, this is the leftover flour that I cleaned up, and I'm going to reuse it for the next pizza. Now, when I cut this, you'll see it'll just break apart really nice and easy and separate. There. See how it separates nicely? That's when you know your pizza's done really nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it up now, and then we'll take another shot at it when we're done here. Okay, so you can see the pizza is all cut up now, and you can see that I cut it up in nice little small pieces. And I just find it tastes better when I cut it in small pieces. Some people like it larger pieces. The other good thing about cutting it up in smaller pieces is that the pizza cools down faster too. Because when it comes out of the oven, it's really hot. And now we're going to get my brother and my nephew to try this pizza, and that'll be the final test. A thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah?
Not bad at all.
Better than takeout, huh?
A fraction of the price.
That's good. That's good.
A thumbs up?
I give you 2 thumbs up, but my hands are busy. Good.
Satisfied customer. So there you go, folks. Give this pizza recipe a try at home, and he'll be back for seconds. I
I
am.
certainly will be.